Hello, Fraction Camp. I'm going to introduce you to some of our digital resources now. Notice that I'm in the classroom, the digital classroom, and over here on the right side wall, if I click on it, it takes me to the right side wall, which is virtual resources or digital resources. One of those digital resources that's on the resource shelf here is the number line. I'm going to click on it, and that takes me directly to the digital number line. You don't have to go that route. You can also go from anywhere on the internet. You can choose mathlearningcenter.org. It takes you to this website, and then choose their apps right there. And the apps, if I scroll down, you'll notice there are numerous apps here. One of them is the digital number line. Also notice that all of the apps come in 3 flavors: a web-based app, an Apple-based app, and a Chrome-based app that you can install on a Chromebook and or any Android device. Okay, so those are all very useful. What I think that I'm going to use now is the web-based app, and let me go back and show you what that looks like. Okay, when you first open up the digital number line, what you end up with is, let me move this out of the way just for a second, my little toolbar here. Okay, so you end up with a number line that looks like this. It's pre-populated with tick marks and numbers. There are several, as with all the Math Learning Center apps, there's a tool ribbon along the bottom. And the first thing that I want to point out to you is this, this gear with the tick marks. And you notice that I can change the tick marks, whole numbers. They can go by 1s, 2s, 5s, 10s, 25s, and hundreds. So I could change my tick marks so that they are now numbering by hundreds. Okay, I could, let me go back to the tick mark changer. I could also choose fractions. I think you already know I'm going to choose that. And so let me go down to 12ths. You see I can choose halves, thirds, fourths, and so forth to 12ths. So I'm going to choose 12ths. You can also choose tick mark spacing. They can be tight, medium, or far apart. I'm going to choose the medium spacing for the tick marks. I can also start the tick marks at different locations. For example, I could start at 13. And if I started at 13, notice how over here now my tick marks start at 13. Okay, I'm going to go back though, and in this case, I want to start at 0. So I'll start my tick marks at 0. But for your activities, I encourage you to start at various different places. For now, I'm starting at 0. Okay, so I'm done with that. I've set up my my number line so that it includes the tick marks and the values that I want it to include. Here, the next button on the tape allows me to. Hold on. Here's what I meant to say. This one right here, it will now cover all the values of the tick marks if you wanted to. You could also, if you chose to, cover just a portion of the tick marks. So this is what I call the window shade app. Now this window shade can change sizes, but I think this is the minimum size that it can be. So for example, I could cover 2 of these tick marks, and I could ask students, what's the next tick mark in line? And then you can open the shade and show them, close it and ask them again. All right, let me now show you one of the most useful tools here. It's called the jump. I'm going to insert a jump right there. Now, you see that I've inserted this jump. I can move the jump any place I want. For now, I'll put it right there. I can also change the length of the jump. So I'm going to call that, and notice how there's a question mark here. I don't know what the length of that jump is. However, you can click right here on the ribbon, and it'll tell you the length. Notice that's 3/12. I can click that off, and I could ask then students to label it for themselves. And so the useful thing to do here is to say, that's 3 divided by 12. So students can label it for themselves. You can also, if you wanted to, duplicate that jump. So here's the jump. Here's the duplication button. Whoops, I want to keep it the same. And to move it, I'm going to move it there. Then I can duplicate it again and move it there, and duplicate it once more and move it there. So now I've put in 4 identical jumps, and each jump has a value of 3/12. And you could count that. 1/12, 2/12, 3/12, and so forth. You get the idea. Okay. Here's a very useful and great thing to insert. This is inserting a value. So, for example, I might want to insert the value, let's say 11/24. And then I might ask my students, okay, where on this number line should 11/24 go? Does it go over here next to 11/12? Does it go over here before 1/12? Where should it be? So one activity that you could have students do is to take this movable value and place it where you think it should go. And I think it should go right there. I happen to know something about fractions. And so, of course, you know that I'm not really interested in the answer. Well, I am interested in the answer, but I'm more interested in the reasoning. And the good news is they can add their reasoning by saying something like this. All right. I'm going to say 11/12, or excuse me, 11/24 is greater than 5/12 because 5/12 is the same value as 10/24. That may be incomplete reasoning, but it's the reasoning that I'm going to enter in there now. So what I'm suggesting here is a way for you to use this number line, and I've just shown you a couple of interesting tools. One is to put in jump values and to be able to label those jump values, and another is to put in a value and be able to slide that value to where it goes or where you think it goes. And another is to be able to insert reasoning. All of these are tremendously powerful tools to increase the interaction between the student and the app. That's one of the reasons I really like it. Okay, let's see. I could also insert, let me show you another way to create not another way to create a jump, but another way to use a jump. So I'm going to now, let's see, I'm going to label this one as 1/4, and I'll say done. And why am I saying that? I'm going to say that is one, I'm going to say, let's see, I want to put a reasoning there. I'm going to say this jump has a fractional value of 1/4 because 4 equal parts have the same value as one whole. And you might recognize this reasoning. I've done this kind of reasoning before, and I'm going to put the label there right next to it. Say done. I can change the color of that if I wanted to. I'm going to move this a little bit here, and I'm going to put it right there. Then I'm going to add in one more jump, and I'm going to place my jump right here. And I'm going to now label this. I've got to label this as equals to 1. Okay, so this is one whole, and I might even want to place a label in there. Let me move this up a little. I'm going to place a label in there that says this is one whole. Remember that we're going to really, this is one whole right there. We're going to really emphasize the definition or the defining of what one whole is, or what I'm saying is I want to make students aware of what the value of one whole is. Okay, in our case, I'm saying this is one whole. So if that's the case, then this up here has to be 1/4, because do you see 1, 2, 3, 4? And now I can say based on this, another reasoning piece, and that other reasoning piece could look something like this. So 1/4 is equivalent to 3/12 because they have the same length jump. Okay, done. And I want to change that to another color. So let me change it to green, call it done. And I'm going to move this over here. And now I've put in a lot of reasoning here. So, okay, let me make sure that I have shown you everything that I wanted to show you. This button right here will clear everything off the number line. It'll give you a warning. Do you really want to clear everything? And I'll say, no, I don't want to do that right now. Remember, I can change my tick marks. I can create a jump. I can label or not label the jumps. I can hide the labels of the tick marks. I can create a new moving location or value. I can create what I call a window shade that you can open and close. I can insert an equation. I can insert a text box or a comment. Oh, and I haven't mentioned this yet, but I could also insert a handwritten note like this. I could also circle this one and circle this one and so forth. I can do a lot of things. When I click that off, let's see, I can also erase those marks. And let's see, I think I've done everything except for maybe the most important thing. Once you've done all the work that you want to have done here, you can share it with other people. You get some options. You can save it as an image. You can get a link. And so the advantage of saving it as an image is then you can insert it any place that you can normally insert an image. But you can share a link with somebody, and the advantage to sharing that link is then they can use that link to come to your number line, and it's still interactive for them. And what I mean by that is then they could do some work on your number line. And then there's a share code right here that you could share with somebody. And if they had that share code, all they have to do is log into the number line, enter the share code, and they go directly to your number line. All right, so this is a very useful tool, and I just wanted to introduce it to you here.